Michael van Gerwen. It could be a crucial match from that.
I completely agree. It's working out the same as last year. He had just avoided relegation, elimination last year, and it seems to be going the same pattern. Will he avoid it this year?
Wright has turned into a real crowd favourite, hasn't he, John?
Well, he has, and it started at the World Championship, and he engaged the crowd, turning around before throwing for a double, then hitting it. You know, you can't help but get them on your side when you do stuff like that. And I think he's sort of got away from that a little bit, and he needs to return to it. And that's the sort of thing that would really get on Simon's nerves.
Cheers, boys. Rod Studd and Stuart Parr, your commentators.
Thanks, Dave. Week 6 of the 2014 Premier League. And believe you me, a huge night for all the players involved. At the end of this, a lot of them will know whether they are looking up or down as they try to stay in the event or challenge for a place in the playoffs. Whitlock against Wright. It looks like Peter Wright is using new darts again. Top of the table, yet to lose. Whitlock, I reckon, has to win 3 out of the next 4.
Yeah, classic top of the shop against bottom of the pile contest here between Wright and Whitlock. Funnily enough, not much between their stats for the season. That'll change the statistics all right. Peter Wright, it's his 10th maximum of the Premier League 2014. Whitlock, though, has had 11 and has better finishing stats, and yet finds himself bottom. Funny old game sometimes. But he is the darting desperado tonight. Simon Whitlock looking for points. There's the rest of the card, the runners and riders. Lewis Anderson, MVG Newton, MVG looking to go back top tonight. RBB against Thornton. And Phil Taylor against
100.
David Chisholm.
Simon Whirlwind, 170.
Well, he's left his favourite, 170. And there's the one. But Whitlock was
68.
Brilliant a week ago in Exeter
61.
against Robert Thornton. Oh yes. Treble 18 for the ball. Bullseye for Peter Wright. Bent the wire.
136.
Bent the wire. Well, he was perfect on the doubles 7 days ago in Exeter. You feel he has to take this out here. Yep. And the double.
86.
Well, he had his chance.
80 required, 25.
Now Wright can steal, break the throw.
Yeah, Whitlock, as you said, Stu, 7 out of 7 last week, 0 from 1 tonight. Double 8 for Peter Wright. And he nails it. Whitlock had half a chance. Wright took his.
Game on.
He's been chopping and changing the darts, Peter Wright, since before the World Championship.
140.
But this new set tonight look as though they're working for him. Yeah, realistically, I reckon Whitlock has to win 3 out of 4, doesn't he, before the cut-off. After this,
80.
he plays Chisnall, Newton, and then he plays Van Gerwen on Judgment Night in Cardiff. So he has it all to do, the Aussie.
Wright, the league leader.
100.
He says he can get a better grip with these darts. Well, I remember back at the Grand Slam in November, Stu, you said Peter Wright could be a top 8 player. People thought you'd nip back to the commentary box from Cloud Cuckoo Land. But you've been proven right to some tune. And now he tops the pile in the Premier League. Who would have thought that 3 or 4 months ago?
Well, Whitlock, top 4, lost his number 3 spot in the world after the UK Open, replaced there by Adrian Lewis. Whitlock down to number 4, but still very, very consistent, isn't the Aussie?
81.
Yeah, and on the way to getting his place in the top 8, of course, he beat Whitlock, didn't he, the World Championship, in a one-sided semi-final.
58.
Very convincing performance.
I think importantly for Peter Wright as well, Rod, is that after his success at the World Championship, he's proved in the Premier League that he isn't just a one-hit wonder. Very much so.
60.
Yeah, 3 wins, 2 draws for Peter Wright. He really should have won one of those draws against Chisnell. He had Chisnell on the ropes at 5-1,
93.
but anyway, he's unbeaten.
120.
He is the only player in the tournament unbeaten. Needs the treble to set up the double. He'll stay there looking for the red bit. I went 2 double tops. Set one up for the next one.
90.
So the Premier
Easy requires
League
60.
leader steps up to try and make it 2-0. Just relishes the atmosphere, doesn't he?
Peter Wright.
He belongs in the big time. Simple as that.
Game on.
Made for Wrighty, the Premier League. Loves it, laps it up.
97.
Enlarging it in the fancy pants. Producing some fancy pants darts as well, Peter Wright.
132.
He has to be regarded now as very much a possible winner of the event. Never mind just reaching the semis.
140.
Yep, I agree. I mean, a couple more wins and he's putting himself very much in the box seat for getting through to the 17 points.
140.
It was 4th place in the Premier League last year. It's all about survival
58.
for Whitlock. He reached the final. Lost just to Taylor, didn't he, in 2012 in the Premier League.
'97.
Good pick off from Peter Wright once more. Well, Whitlock here on his own throw under huge pressure here. Could go 2 breaks down, and that is going to make him feel a whole heap worse. Even the board is against him.
68. 80 require 132.
Bull first target. Okay, treble 19 leaves another pot at the bull.
It's awkward. You can see. Oh, what a dart! What a dart from Peter Wright. Well, it was the perfect camera angle, and it was the perfect dart from Peter Wright. There was no way through. That dart actually went through the flight of the one that was in the 25. Remarkable error.
Into the very epicenter of the bullseye.
84.
The geometric centre of the board was found with precision. Brilliant.
Yeah, a bit of science involved there.
121.
No little amount of skill as well.
And no little confidence. He's playing with such verve and panache. He thinks he's going to hit everything he aims at.
Invariably he is as well. But a really good addition to the Premier League. He's here on merit. He's justified his selection and how. And another victory here
100
would mean that whatever happens, he will remain top of the Premier League heading into week 7 in Leeds.
Yeah. And as you said, there's 16 games we played all told. If you go all the way through, he would have 10 points. He'd probably only need 7 or 8 more points, as you said, from the remaining 10 games. You'd have to fancy him.
140.
Looks a cert for the semis.
You require 140.
Well, Whitlock hasn't had a look in. He had 1 dart, didn't he, in the opening leg at double 16. Since then, Peter Wright in total control. Yeah, that'll do nicely.
100. Simon, you require 140.
Has become over the years the master of the big checkout. Has to prove it again here.
100.
Well, all he can do
40.
is tee up tops and hope against hope that Wright has an off moment on the double. There is no off moment. Pins it.
Peter Wright.
4-zip. He's reeled off 4 straight legs. Whitlock's had just 1 shot at a double in the opening leg. Since then, he has been blown away.
139.
Well, this is not good news for Whitlock. And you know, you caught a glimpse there of the Peter Wright wigs in the crowd here in Nottingham every week. There's more and more of them. He's really building up a good fan base, isn't he, as well, Peter Wright? But yeah, Whitlock
60.
is being outplayed here. His leg difference at the moment is -16, and if it does come down to him being level on points with another player after
100.
Judgment Night in Cardiff, then that's going to count against him. It's a long way back. One win from 5 at
92.
the moment. He had the toughest possible start. His first 4 games and lost them. Lewis, Anderson, Barneveld and Taylor.
Mentioning Phil Taylor, if Whitlock were to get something from this game,
85.
Phil Taylor would descend to the bottom of the table, albeit maybe for an hour or so, before he plays Dave Chisnell tonight in the final game of the evening.
134.
Well, Whitlock will get another chance at a double here in leg 5. You better take it.
95. Simon Uruguay 76.
Tops to get a leg on the board.
36.
Well, that shouldn't matter. I say shouldn't if Wright can pile in something big here. It's only going to be 58. So Whitlock may breathe a little easier looking at tops. Double 10. Flustered finishing. Frail finishing. Gets there.
Gives on the 5th leg.
Big dart, big
Simon
moment,
Whitlock.
because if he'd gone 5-0
Six-legged
behind,
clear to throw first.
he wouldn't have given him a price. He has just given himself a glimmer. Was only a holder throw, mind you.
$60.
Well, that's unlucky. Into the treble 5. Good adjustment.
94.
Yeah, he really was terrific. I mean, when he played Thornton in Exeter, to be fair to the Scot, he was in good form as well, averaging over 100. But 7 out of 7 on the
100.
doubles from Whitlock. Had to win and did. Has to come back. Can he find a way? Night 6 here
59.
in Nottingham.
Leeds next, then Dublin, then Cardiff. As the darting
57.
circus goes all around the UK and Ireland.
$58.
He was unlucky as well, Whitlock, with a nasty ear infection as well. He picked up early on in the tournament. That affected him for a couple of weeks. Meant he couldn't fly, for example, to venues. A lot of
97.
travelling on the road or by boat across to Belfast, so that didn't help. Now then.
140.
He's given himself a chance.
Simon Uruguay 150.
150 for Whitlock. Might look at treble 18.
98. Beat Uruguay.
So this for
87.
5-1 for the Premier League leader.
Single 20 leaves the bull. He was messing about looking at the treble. Hit it tonight, the bull.
62.
This time.
Simon Uruguay 52.
Now this really is a chance. Well, gotta go here, Simon.
Gives
Good
on the
dart.
6th leg.
So
Simon
4-0
Whitlock.
becomes 4-1, becomes 4-2 with a break and throw. And all of a
Game
sudden,
on.
Whitlock back in business.
He really fired that in with some aggression, didn't he? Really gave it the full Monty.
59.
He's going to find another break, though, which would get the match back on serve.
100.
Obviously, they'll come into the game looking for both points, Simon Whitlock, but when you're 0-4 behind, a draw will be a very, very good night's work. Haul him off the foot of the
94.
table, but getting within a point of Chisnall and Thornton. Both have 4 points. Thornton, remember, has played an extra game also.
$125.
Good adjustment from Peter Wright. All of a sudden the pressure back on the Aussie. Got to fill it up here, really.
100.
Wright can steal the darts. Well, in November, Peter Wright was dreaming of the Premier League. It became a reality. And now he's dreaming of the Premier League playoffs and maybe even the Premier League title. Well, there it is. The first for the Aussie. Much needed.
Well, if he hits another red bit, it would have left double 18 as it is.
68.
He's left himself a 2-dart combination, and Whitlock to close within a single leg. The double 16.
52.
Wires it.
He requires 76.
Well, he shut his eyes in despair because he knows what could be coming next.
What a lovely dart to leave double A. That's brilliant.
He's on the second
Got to say,
flag.
you've got to say, haven't you? That is
Peter
exceptional.
to throw first.
Well,
Game on.
2 perfectly thrown darts from Peter Wright. Has he just snuffed out the Whitlock fight back?
Well,
140.
for many months he was regarded as a comedy turn, a comedy act. He's turned into a darting assassin of some repute.
41.
That was classic you miss, I hit darts from Peter Wright.
The reputation has been one of the best finishers in the business.
132.
We mentioned a big night ahead, and it is. Some really, really big games coming up. Adrian Lewis, still basking in the
57.
glory of winning the UK Open. Michael van Gerwen. Barney against Thornton. What a big, big game to round off the night. Dave Chisnall has 4 points, Phil Taylor has 2. You know, it was Wright's finishing that took him all the way to the World Championship finally.
60. Better
Better than any player in the World Championship. Another 2-dart finish. 3 will do.
He's on the 8th leg.
Inevitable.
Peter
He
Wright.
pockets a point,
At
least a point.
First. Game on.
and it will be both points if he wins one of the next 4 legs.
120.
Oh, poor old Simon Whitlock. If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
$140. $100.
Just looks so comfortable in his surroundings.
100.
Cool customer. Whereas Whitlock
97.
looks exactly the opposite. Looks a man under pressure, under strain, under stress, desperate for points.
There's a treble to leave a finish.
100.
Well, he's had a 132
58.
bull finish in and amongst Peter Wright.
61.
Can he finish with a real flourish? No. But what he can do is
97.
leave it very handy.
Simon, you require 126.
Treble 19 is a must. Now needs the ball. This a must. This is a must. Oh!
Huge on the
Wow,
night
what
there.
a dart
Simon
again.
Whitlock.
This time from Simon Whitlock.
Ted leg is Peter to throw
Peter
first.
Wright sitting on
Neymar.
64 to win the match. Not a bit of it. 3 to play. Wright needs one more.
Whitlock needs all three to
100.
pilfer a point. Right, with a ton-topping average. It would be his second of the tournament. Averaged a shade over a ton against
99.
Phil Taylor in the third week. And a 6 out of 10 on the doubles.
$135. $72.
The reality is for Simon Whitlock is that he is now staring
96.
at the abyss, isn't he, as far as this year's Premier League is concerned. One win. The 90 average won't win many games at this
42.
level.
And his legs difference, as you've mentioned, Stuart, is catastrophic. Oh, come on, just keep firing at the treble. Oh, they wanted to see the roof raiser to end the match.
90.
It's okay as a leave, it's a two-darter.
$60. Easy require 80.
Double 10 for Peter Wright to maintain his lead at the top of the Premier League. This is turning into a quite brilliant Premier League debut. And Peter Wright takes another giant step towards the semi-finals.